Adelaide Magnolia was actually a story that based on a story that I had been writing years before that was also a fantasy story, which is kind of funny because when you read Adelaide Magnolia, there is an element of fantasy in it, but it's not the kind of story that I was writing previously that this story is actually taken from. However, it's turned out infinitely better than the story that I was writing before. So having that story already written years ago and being able to transpose it into the Adelaide Magnolia Regency era historical fiction story made the writing process pretty unique because number one, I have a lot of background and I've spent a lot of time in the Regency era, both for pleasure and academically. And so I've done so much research on Austen's England and Regency era England. So it was a lot less laborious on the research side. And then also having that story already created in a large part made the actual writing of the story and the whole process of outlining and everything much smoother and much quicker than my other stories. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that it's novice because it is so nostalgic to a lot of people. We no longer communicate with each other like we used to through handwritten, stamped and sealed letters that you receive in the mail. We communicate through texts and through emails and through phone calls and whatnot. And so I think that it's important the way that we're telling stories because it's a twofold way of keeping history alive. We are not only keeping history alive through the way that we're telling stories, through continuing to send letters through the mail and to show our younger readers that was once a way of communicating, but also in that we are telling historical fiction stories that we are desperately trying to tell them as accurately as we can and keep those elements of history alive, because I feel like it's more important than it's ever been to celebrate history and also to tell it as accurately as we can. The letter writing, that really special piece of someone that you get when you get a letter from them, both in their handwriting, their tone of voice, the time that it took to really sit down and compose a letter and to communicate the events that are taking place on the other side of that letter. That doesn't really happen anymore, and I think that is why this is such an appealing thing for people, is not only are they receiving letters, but they're receiving letters in the old-fashioned way through the mail, and I think that it's reminding them of times gone by. The other reason why I think it appeals is because it's something to look forward to. We get so many bills, we get so much junk mail nowadays, but to get something that you really want in the mail, something that you are anticipating receiving, something that's going to bring you joy, that's beautiful to look at, I think that also resonates. It's a little piece of joy in your mailbox, and I think that is something that people are looking for more than ever, because we live in an ever-darkening world that is making it very hard to find those innocent joys. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and letting me share some of the behind-the-scenes tidbits of our Adelaide Magnolia collection with you. It has been a pleasure, and I really hope that what I've shared enriches your story reading experience. Take care.